Well, hello. Merry Christmas. We've gone a bit festive, as you can see. Cringe. But what we're going to do, we're going to try something a little bit new this dev live stream. We're going to chat about, because we're so excited about 2016, we might get some of the movers and shakers of Jagex and RuneScape to talk about some of the updates we want to do in 2016 and are coming out. Are you already hot?
I'm done. That's it.
That's even bar humbug is too Christmassy.
Yeah, done.
Oh, ridiculous. Yeah, so what we're going to chat
with this.
We're going to throw up some updates up on the screen. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about some of the almost like a sneak peek in our Queen's speech that we have for next year. The manifesto of things we want to do, basically. And kind of reveal things. We'll take some questions from hashtag RSDevQA, so put that up on the Twitch feed and we'll grab those and put those in too. And after this stream, we have an advent calendar stream, so please do catch that afterwards. But so first of all, I think we've got a little screening to throw up, which is the first half of next year. These are the updates that are coming out in the first half of next year.
Yeah, we're okay to say that.
These are the big, large updates, so if we can put those up now. So book off the first 6 months of 2016 because this is what is coming. Now, it's
I don't remember saying that last one.
It's worth noting that these are the large updates, isn't it? So we were talking about kind of cadence and how we're changing the way we release.
Yeah, so we thought we'd mix it up a bit. Yeah, well, we tried to mix things up a little bit. And what we're going to do is try and make sure that each month has something hefty, something really, really meaty for people to get involved with, and make sure that we're really delivering. And what you can see on the screen right now are, that's definitely more than 6.
Well, that's it. I mean,
yeah, that's kind of the thing. In our first 6 months of the year, we're not only trying to do those like 6 big hitter ones, we also have some other big hitters going in there as well to make sure that there's lots of content for everybody throughout the year.
Yeah.
Straw poll it?
I quite fancy a straw poll. So the obvious straw poll here is to find out which you're most excited about. So go on, surprise us.
Could it be NXT?
We'll see what comes second. Let's see what is the...
Well, if they're only voting for one thing, then I'll be surprised if...
Well, if you want to skew that vote, choose something other than NXT. But still, it's useful to us to know.
If we say that we're going to talk about whatever gets voted on the top unless it's NXT.
Yeah, that might work. So please do straw poll. Let us know what you're up for. To be fair, following RuneFest, I think people were quite chuffed with the stuff we were promoting, saying that we're going to launch.
It's not just saying, we're actually going to launch this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the big differences, because RuneFest every year, when we do the updates that are coming out for the next year, people are often a little bit dubious because so much stuff didn't make it. We've actually scheduled this all in, and...
Yeah, that was a big difference on how we did things from before.
We actually decided what we're going to talk about.
Well, we sat down with everyone.
Make it up on the spot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've done things before. We've kind of been hopeful about what we can try and do. We just went, look, we have to make sure that we start delivering some of this stuff.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that we're getting into players' hands. So let's try and put something in place that we can actually give to people.
Yeah.
Rather than delivering like 5 out of 6, and that's assuming a really good hit rate. Let's actually go for everything that we think we can do.
It meant that the team could get invested in it, start coming up with ideas early, and talk to players at RuneFest, which was new for us because often we were finding out at the same time as players.
You still managed to surprise the teams. That was the impressive thing.
It's when we say things like continents when it comes to
whoa,
a player.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. We kind of determined area, didn't we?
Yeah.
Language. Here we go. So the first votes are in. We're kind of looking at NXT, really, 184 votes.
I said we're not talking about that up front, so we should probably go on to God Wars Dungeon 2.
God Wars Dungeon 2's next. Invention after that, and then Solo Boss. We may have written down Solo Quest there. And at the bottom, the Lowly Barrows Brothers quest.
Oh.
So 5...
Yeah, so somebody's put some presents in front of me. I can't see the numbers.
So at the moment, we have quests filling the bottom 4 of the 8, which you should all be ashamed.
But there are a lot of quests there.
There are a lot of quests there. So you were splitting that quest vote, so don't worry. We are aware of what we're doing to that vote. So it'd be quite nice to chat about some of them. Obviously, we're not hugely ahead on a lot of these projects, but I know I was talking to The Watch today about God Wars 2.
Oh yeah, they're really excited.
And they are crazy excited. So how many bosses will be in the new God Wars dungeon? Have you chatted to them about that?
No, but I'm assuming they talk about 4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I think it's that whole kind of spiritual successor thing. Wanted to make it feel not necessarily a direct copy. They've got some really kind of crazy whacked out plans, but like it's got the 4 bosses. You're still getting a kill count.
Yeah, it's like it's an evolution.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be a good one. They've been chatting a lot about it. They've only really gotten up to speed fairly recently.
Yeah.
But they've hit the ground running. Like they are looking to get a lot done very quickly. So I can't wait to get my hands on seeing what they actually deliver.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what players might not know. I know that.
I mean, they're still at the stage though that they can take player suggestions, because I know a bunch of people have been asking if they can make suggestions for God Wars Dungeon 2.
I know that there's one
and
faction in
definitely
particular
can.
that is up
And
in the
it
air.
is and if you want to contact them on Twitter with your ideas, it's Mod Ollie, Mods Deg, and Mods Avatar.
And Mod Ramen. Yeah,
Mod
please
Ramen.
do.
There's a bunch of it, yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole load of them. Mod Ramen.
It's
we'll
the
include
watch
them.
team, yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Timbo as well, right?
No, it's not. It's not Mod Timbo, don't.
But
It's a ninja.
But there's I know that the ones in the concept aren't necessarily in the content. They're actually rethinking the ones that were in because it was Tusker and Seren. So please don't feel that those are going to be the ones that are in there.
That's probably one of the things to clear up. Like we tried to push to get something solid for Roomfest. We kind of got initial ideas for a lot of stuff. So we did some bits of concept work, and this is one of the first things that we're hitting where might not exactly cover what we're going to be releasing, but it was a good idea at the time.
Yeah, I mean we were
Concept
just talking
art is concept.
Yeah,
It's
Often
not
for mood.
necessary stuff that you go into games.
Yeah, Seren, for example, is known as a pacifist. So having walking around thumping people in the face, is a little bit unusual. But I know that they're talking about some interesting things about making it more dynamic than God Wars, which is quite nice. Maybe having some story stuff in there. So yeah, more as we get it. There'll be live streams. We've got some questions as well. Approximately how many bottle quests do you think there will be, and will we see ones relating to God Wars Dungeon 2?
Should we?
I mean, it's certainly a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's set in stone yet, but it's a bottle quest kind of introducing it or something like that.
The team
have
has
related to it.
Yeah.
Because what we talk about is we make these updates with huge amount of assets go into it, and it's about reusing some of those assets and stuff. So kind of an intro quest or something doesn't
that's it.
make sense, but it's one of several possibilities. And I don't think the team have nailed down on deciding exactly what they want to do yet with that.
And Andrew Byrne has asked, will we be able to get a Guthix God Sword from God Wars Dungeon 2?
I don't think so. I don't think that really fits in with the lore.
It'd be such an interesting addition. I don't know how it would quite work. It'd have to be the Guardians of Guthix, I guess. But they're not the type to turn up to a party and
He doesn't
start
have
a
a
fight.
God Sword or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it fits within the lore.
He's already got a couple he's got one in particular sword.
I mean, there's
that
a
he
Sword
cuts
of
through
Edict,
dimensions
but
with.
yeah.
There were a couple of questions on Nomad. So Nomad is, the guys who are working on it. They've got the Dukes.
They are speeding ahead.
Yeah.
That's been really impressive. I was gone for 1 week. When I came back, I said, "Oh my God, everything's kind of working."
So, I mean, as you can imagine, like Nomad's Elegy is going to feature a fair amount of combat, so do prep yourself for that. But that's what they focused on first, get that right.
Yeah.
Combat sequences in it. And it's going to be not necessarily more difficult than the Nomad you remember, but certainly more involved.
More differenter.
More differenter, yeah, much more differenter. But it's looking really good. They've gone for scale and scope. So if you thought that Nomad's Elegy was going to be a small personal tale, you're probably, you're entirely wrong.
Yeah, no, it's much bigger than that.
Yeah. We have actually got some concept art. I don't know if we can throw that up.
Make sure you've got the right one.
I did give them some of the wrong concept art for this, but this is the correct stuff. This is it.
No.
Oh my God!
One we gave them would have ruined everything. That was my fault. But this is where a lot of the combat will take place. This is Nomad's throne room, or whatever you want to call it.
The stuff that team have planned for what's going to happen in this room is really interesting, right? Is that enough hype with absolutely no detail? Right?
I'm pretty sure that means nothing. So.
Yeah, we can go with that. Yeah, that's really
empty
good.
hype. Enjoy. But so it's very narrow. You can see we're focusing the player on one particular area. That might kind of give you an idea of what we're doing with combat. All right. So some questions for Nomad. Sakurth, which is the Dragon King, killed V. Is he eligible for Sliskay's game? What do you think, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
I think Sliskay's going to be bending his rules. I think we mentioned that maybe at RuneFest in the story talk, that Sliskay's going to have fun, bend the rules. There are some people who have killed gods that you might not have thought of. There are people who have kind of killed gods. Basically, Sliskay's a game player. Have a think, and we've got some entry additions and surprises for the end game.
Yeah, I mean, spoilers. We don't want to tell people.
No, exactly. But just know Sliskay. And are there any requirements to complete the quest? I know there's Dishonour Among Thieves.
Yeah, there will be, because it is this whole like Salisky storyline, so you'll need the previous quests.
Yes, absolutely. But I do believe it's going down the 6th age route. So those of you who wanted Nomad's Requiem as a requirement, I'm afraid it's not on there, I don't believe. Okay, all right. Invention, rattle through some stuff. So Invention is coming. You know, we said it was January.
Yes.
It's still January. It's looking good. We've had some play tests.
It's been good for the past couple of weeks. Trying to like really getting our hands on with it, changing a couple of things up, moving things around. Like as we get closer, you start seeing how a skill is going to work, or how even any piece of content is going to work. And what we got to do now is make sure that we refine it the best we can.
Yeah, I think the biggest announcement or the biggest change, which we wanted to talk about on the stream, was we've changed the XP curve.
Yes.
So when we were talking at RuneFest, it was about having a new XP curve. So that was very much a kind of a flatter curve, in that, you know, right at the start you'll be doing a greater amount of XP to get to the next level, 1 to 2. We played it through, and the general feeling from all of the playtests we had, we played it through with, you know, good 10, 20 people, was that it just wasn't satisfying. That feeling of unlock.
The opening experience was kind of distracting to them. It's kind of a disconnect.
It felt like change for change's sake in some places.
Yeah, so that's been the main focus of what we've been looking at. The team have been doing some good stuff with that. So especially right now, I want to see what we pick up.
And it still feels like an elite skill. And it still feels like there is a lot new there, even though we are moving to traditional curve. Just a couple of questions. Regarding invention, can we have a better explanation of how divination works with it? No. No. The Kelpie no, as it is known.
So they were looking at, it's an energy mechanic for the items that you're using. I believe that's the major part.
Yeah.
So you charge up with your divination energy
Big part's the
to
charge
run
pack.
your items.
Yeah.
I think that's the clearest. It's also used in...
It's kind of a secondary, almost a secondary ingredient to something. So, you know, like you have herbs, etc. It can be used in certain devices, and in particular the Tinker at the moment. So what makes your weapon levelable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's playing a fairly substantial part. The way that the charge pack is working, I found that really interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of changed up how you use your gear.
Yeah. This is for you, Kelpie. Is it going to be possible to mod defenders when Invention comes out?
It's something that ninjas will pick up since we did the defenders. I can't 100% guarantee it'll be out for day one, but it'll probably be soon after. To be honest, I haven't actually spoken to the rest of the ninja team about it yet.
It's the same thing.
They'll be watching out and finding out what they're doing. Just like
should we tell Timbo?
Yeah, we'll get Timbo to do it. It's easy. But I know that the high-level mob stuff is in the same place, so the Duke's going to pick that up. It's just whether or not it's there for launch.
Yeah, it's a case of like because they've started on it, any new work that people do now, like they need to kind of fit it in with invention as well. So just like you would with any other skill sort of thing.
I really like this question I've got. There's no name here, but I'm going to answer it anyway. How awesome do you think 2016 will be on a scale from 1 to 1 billion?
Oh, at least 2 billion.
At least 2 billion. You've always got to go above.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think ultimately the whole team is really bought into this. They're loving it. Each of the updates, they kind of handpicked themselves as teams. Yeah. They got together and everybody in the team went like, well, we want mining and smithing, we want solo boss, that sort of thing. And it just happened to be that nobody fought over anything.
Yeah, no, I was terrified about what was going to happen there. I thought everybody was going to go for like the same 3 updates. Mm-hmm. And we'd have to have a fight to the death to see who actually got to do which one. But everybody picked things that were different.
Yeah.
There's some crossover, but nothing major.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want to go into a fight with Mod Ollie or...
Oh yeah, no.
Mod Liam. Yeah. I mean, that would be a terrible, horrible experience.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
With other invention questions, is invention going to mean new players cannot craft level 1 to 70 milestone capes? I believe that it doesn't count for milestone
it won't,
capes.
because it's an elite skill, so it's not a regular skill.
Yeah, we have thought of that, don't worry.
Yeah.
And will there be any augmentable hybrid gear in invention? I checked with the guys on this one, and we're pretty sure that the God War stuff, the War Priest stuff is augmentable, but if people are wondering about the Void stuff is lower level. They're generally aiming for 70 plus gear. Yeah. So Void, while it is still powerful, it's pretty decent gear, it doesn't hit that kind of that mark. And okay, NXT. So that was on the 6-month list.
Yeah.
I think that's the closest we've come to pinning a date.
Yeah. And I don't think we...
He's dropped the mic. So excited we mentioned NXT. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we're looking. Yeah. I had a chat with the team just before coming on, and they're okay with that,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah.
We should be able to announce more specific dates as we go in. What we're looking at is how do we roll it out? How do we test it? How do we make sure it's working for everybody?
Because the question is, like, do we do betas,
Yeah.
that sort of thing?
We were looking at doing a members beta.
Yep.
So any member would have access.
Right.
But I'd actually be interested to see what the viewers, what everybody who's watching
everybody
thinks.
will say open it up to everybody
Open
as
it
soon
up
as
to
you
everyone.
can.
I don't know. So like, there's a couple of options. We can
Yeah.
try and restrict it a bit more. We can be a bit more experimental with who we give it out to, and you might be one of the lucky people who gets in on that thing. Or we can just go. We'd have to, like, the level of stability that we have to get to is directly proportional to the number of people we let in. So we let in a very small number of people, we can minimize the amount of effort we need to do to get it working for them. The more people we let in, the more effort we need, the longer it's going to take. So I'd be interested to see where, I'm not guaranteeing that means that it'll change any of the decisions that we're going to make on the dates, but I'm really interested to see how people will feel about that.
Send us a
Like,
tweet.
could we do?
Straw poll.
Yeah, could we say like?
Do open to everyone, open to VIP, Premier Club members, open to members.
That sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good.
So we're going to do a poll: members, Premier Club, everyone.
Yeah.
Those are the three options. Let us know what you think would be appropriate for an NXT beta. We can't guarantee that it will change.
Everyone's voting for the group that they're in. pretty
Yeah.
much.
So everybody votes.
I'm
for
a
the-
VIP, so I'm going to vote VIP.
Why do people want to deny it from each other? Such cruel individuals.
Because
Add a fourth one. Very select group.
J-Mods. We'll do it.
Hand-picked selection of people.
All right, there were other questions on XD that came through. Will the new game client have the option to hide or miniaturize pets followers? Maybe even hide splash effects?
No.
No.
No. The game is still the same game.
Yeah.
That's the core. It's still the same game. There are some features that we can get on how things are rendered, but we're not changing things like reducing the size and reducing splash effects.
Okay. And is it far enough? How big will the download be for the new client?
Absolutely tiny. So the way RuneScape works is it continues to stream content from the servers, and our goal is to get you into the game as fast as possible. I think you're talking tens of megs at most. Like, it is very, very small.
Yeah.
So it's a quick download, quick
Equivalent
install.
to current client.
Yeah. What we're trying to do is be smarter about the content we start streaming first, depending on who's logging in. And that's where the big change will be. I know you see people asking for a bigger downloadable client so that they don't have to worry about the streaming. That's just not how things have been engineered. So it's tough for us. We wouldn't move to that direction.
Yeah.
But we can do things a bit smarter to see how they get to people.
Well, hopefully that's at least somewhat of interest in terms of it's coming in the first 6 months. You can
I
be
do
sure
see
of
a
that.
question. What is NXT?
What is NXT?
NXT is a new game client. We wrote it from the ground up. It is natively built for your machine, so it runs faster, and it removes our reliance on Java.
And if you want to have a look at that guy, have a look at the RuneFest presentation, because you get a sexy video as well.
What about Max and?
It's Max, yes.
Oh, funny story. Some of our tests, Macs are actually performing a little bit better than PCs in some places. It's a bit strange. But the team have been building from Mac from the offset. A lot of the team are actually using Macs, so we're expecting good things from Mac client as well.
All right. So one of the important things to remember from that kind of slide that we showed of things coming out in 2016 is there's other stuff. That was just the headline updates. We are still going to have partner content. So if we kind of throw up the next slide, throw it up on the screen. Have we got it? Have we got it? Have we got it?
Wow, that was actually pretty impressive. That was
so smooth, just like the Fonz. So we got 15-year stuff. 15 year, I mean, that's a big part of next year.
Oh, that's a big hitter. Out the door. Actually, we saw a lot of that today.
Yeah, we've been looking at it. I had a little bit of feedback, but generally we're crazy happy with it. Yeah. We've got a video that will show, just after we talked through this slide, we're going to show some 15th anniversary stuff that we're really excited about. We've got a little video to show you. But also built into all that 15-year stuff, documentary.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yep, that's coming in the first 6 months. And reopening Classic. So I don't know if you all know that RuneScape Classic is coming back.
Did we tell anybody that yet?
Oh.
Did anybody...
that has been mentioned.
That's fine.
I like the panic.
Did I say that?
I think you said it at RuneFest.
And it's worth mentioning that, as we were saying, we've mentioned the big updates, but there is partner content that shares the assets that the team's also involved with. Generally, like our teams are now involved, own a month, I guess is the best way.
Yeah, so we have a couple of teams. We try and pair them up together. Poor Kelpie gets involved in every single month, all of the time, because his team never stops. But these teams look at the various weeks within a month, see how they can structure their content and what they can build to fill out that month. And usually it leads up to a big, well, so far it's led up to them trying to get as much time as possible to deliver the big updates. So the big updates are like a climax at the end of the month. But it's been really good to see how they're coming together. And I've seen the God scoreboard. It's kind of a internal term, really. What we actually end up doing is probably not going to be a scoreboard.
No, I mean, the core aims from a design point of view, I guess, is that we really want to communicate to you who has got a kill for the quest content. Really give that sense of, building, because over the course of the year, that will grow and more people will be added to it. I like the Godbook improvements I mentioned twice there. They're that important.
Yep.
So no
I also
there.
like how that says Ninja updates including, and then Hattie Wolf, the Easter event, and probably even turning on double XP weekends will be Ninja stuff.
I think it's worth showing that you guys do a lot more than necessarily just their quality of life fixes.
Mm-hmm. I think Mod Timbo has discussed at RuneFest about Godbook improvements. So if you want to know more about that, check out that stream.
And tweet him.
And tweet him. Tweet Mod Timbo. Do it. There's a couple of things of note there. That's Hattie Wolf.
Hattie Wolf, bring it back. We are looking to do an add-on this year. Last year we didn't because it's kind of seasonal content and it's the same
chunk of content.
But we're adding a little bit of chunk of content. Whether it's the last bit of chunk of content, maybe.
Who knows? And obviously Easter event.
We're completing some things with it. And then, the Easter event sort of thing. I think Christmas has gone down very well, I think.
And that was you guys as well.
Yeah. So we're quite happy with how that's gone. To be honest, there isn't like a huge amount of people shouting about it, but when we go in, there's plenty of people playing it and stuff.
I like the advent calendar and
people doing it. Yeah, so like that's a mixture of all the other teams and stuff as well. But
do give us your feedback.
But we were thinking of a kind of one-off thing. And the kind of mixture of Christmas with RuneScape stuff worked quite well, so maybe we'll try and do a bit more.
I think
of that
internally
with Easter with like Guffix and stuff.
We liked tribute to Guffix. People seem to like the butterflies as long as you don't accidentally click them when you didn't want to. But that notion of tribute to Guffix went down quite well as a replacement, or at the same time as Easter. So I think that will feature quite well in a very God-heavy year. All right, so the 15th anniversary teaser. So we've got something. What is happening is we're giving you some stuff, basically. We're reaching 15 years. We want to celebrate. We want to thank you guys. So we're giving you stuff. And there's also a kind of party area. But this is some of the stuff you will get. So here we go, the show reel. We can talk over this. So what could it possibly be? See some lanterns in the background that are from the 15-year event. So we're going to emotes. And you may well notice that you have 4.
I really like what they've done with these, actually.
Yeah. So we have emotes related to the first 4 years of our life, and over the course of the year we'll release more of these. And so they're all really nice, kind of nostalgic. Think back to the updates that came out in that given year. And then we also have some cracker wings. Oh, look at that. So I'm waiting for the feed to go into meltdown. So you have cracker wings, and of course if you have cracker wings they're breaking in the middle, and as you run you'll be spewing party hats.
Yeah, I remember when we walked in and someone showed, I was like, what are you? Oh.
I love that the model is, it's not really updated.
No, it's actually the cracker just made bigger.
If anything.
Yeah.
So as you're running away, you'll have this kind of stream of party hats running behind you. So hopefully you like that. This is, obviously you guys have been kind of responsible for us getting to 15 years, and we wanted to give you heaps of stuff, and that's what the 15-year anniversary is about.
They have a lot of stuff coming in. There's lots of things to get involved with, and most of it's just looking back over the 15 years. Yeah. And if you've been in RuneScape for those 15 years, you'll see the touchstones on each of them. It's really nice.
Even that 2001 emote, you can see like the players dressed in 2001 gear. The items by the placard are all 2001 items. You're fighting the original, it's the original models as far as we could get them. Yeah. These are obviously quite hard to find in some instances, and putting that in there. And there's 4 on launch, but over the course of the year we'll unlock those. There's a very kind of gentle way of unlocking that in the content. It's got to be a little bit of achievement to get it. Yeah. But it looks good.
Yeah. Seeing lots of people asking about 15-year cape, and that's not something that's coming.
It's a quirk of how we do veteran capes.
Yeah, because we didn't really start monitoring people's player age for a good few years after we started, did we? So
we had to do the same thing when we hit 10 years.
Yeah, so as a result, it's going to be a couple years before any accounts show up as being 15 years old.
Yeah, so apologies for that. That's just the quirk of, starting a game in a bedroom. You don't anticipate that people will be with you for 15 years. You don't track those accounts.
Yeah, so no for that.
I've got one question from Amon HD. Will double XP weekend work on invention?
Nope.
Okay.
There'll be a good grace period of before any bonus XP or anything like that.
We just want it to feel elite
before you can get anything from Treasure Hunter or anything like that.
So there'll be
like
a lot
we do
of
with all skills sort of thing.
Tears of Gothics as well, that sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe I can't remember Tears of Gothics.
Sure. I think we've done that with most skills. Tears of Gothics.
Yeah, probably because it's the low.
And so I've got please mention raids. So that wasn't on the first 6 months. There are obviously a number of updates. Mining and smithing isn't there. Some of the bigger updates we mentioned at RuneFest are in that second half.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning that we're probably going to take stock. It's not the case that we got all of the year mapped. We still want to stop at one point and say, do we still want these updates? Are they still going to do something?
To be fair, right now we kind of do.
Yeah.
I mean, so we tried to put some structure in place so we could feel we can actually deliver these things.
True.
So we did map it out, but you're absolutely right. There's no way we can know.
We're not so locked.
Yeah. That in 12 months' time, this is exactly what we want to have done. Like, I'd love to be sitting here in a year's time, having delivered everything that we said we'd do. But I want to make sure that that's still something that our players want.
Yeah. Well, in the second half of the year, you still have smithing and mining rework. You still have raids. You've got Sliskay's Endgame, Fate of the Gods 2.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff there.
I'm
hoping you feel it's a good year.
Yeah.
Because obviously we spent so much time kind of agonising over what to put in it. And you guys obviously helping out with the survey. All right, so moving on to kind of the manifesto, a sneak peek at what we're going to be talking about the year. At the end of the year, every end of year, we always say what's important to us, what the next year is going to be like. We touched on a few of them, 15-year.
Yes, that's like a cornerstone for everything we're doing, I think.
Yeah.
Looking at us, it's been 15 years of RuneScape, and everything we do, we just looking back with like a little touch of nostalgia, changing what looking at the content that we've released.
Thank you for being with us. Yeah, you can just have a look at God Wars Dungeon 2, Mining and Smithing rework. These are kind of that feeling of looking back, Fate of the Gods 2. Pretty much that.
Keeping it like everything. Each time we're trying to do something, we'll be looking back at what we've done before, and how does this link into it, making sure we take stock of our heritage of what we've built.
And reflect that throughout the year, because the documentary coming out, you'll have those emotes unlocking throughout the year. You can see this happening. All killer, no filler is what I've written. That's kind of summarising a lot of what we've already talked about.
Yeah,
big main update.
Yeah, we were talking about the cadence. That was the big thing.
Yeah.
We had a lot of questions towards the middle of this year. It was the middle, it was around summer, wasn't it? Around like what release cadence we should have. Yeah. Should we, do we need a release every week? Do we need do we have a smaller set of updates but make them more important? And the releases that we do, we make sure that they're actually valid.
Yeah.
So
I think it came from people looking at Ninja updates and seeing those small, those smaller updates. They actually have a lot of worth and value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Keep doing those. In fact, ramp up those.
Yeah.
Look at the big updates that really make a difference. Everybody loved kind of Elf City and Araxor, things like this. So bring those to the forefront, and maybe losing some of the updates that don't necessarily do much for people. Become dead content. Make sure that everything has value and impact.
I think an interesting thing to look at is like actually looking at the watch at the back end of this year.
Yeah.
They've released 3 things kind of back to back. They've been running.
Yeah, they've got
heavily.
Tutorial Island Quest. They had Halloween. They had
Gobies.
All of those quite quick succession.
I want to try and make sure the teams have enough space to think about what they're building.
And the whole team's working on that one thing.
Yeah.
Because each of those had basically a different developer on them.
Yeah. And it's a scattered and like we just want to make sure that we're focusing.
Yeah, that is cool. I've got written down player power.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about?
Well, we've kind of talked about this in a stream or two ago, didn't we?
Yeah, I think
we've got a month coming up in the year 2016, where players will decide that major content. The Guardians team will be the ones who work on that.
Yeah, and that's one we forgot about the second half of next year. An entire player power area.
Yeah. So in a week or so, I think we're closing down. Well, it's not so much closing down. We're kind of resetting Rune Labs again.
Yep.
And we'll start asking questions where people start to decide what that content is going to be.
Yep.
So I believe like the first question is going to be very much the large kind of area, like what setting do you want? And that can be anything from Menethus to Underwater City to something completely new we haven't heard of. Yeah. And there's like, a small paragraph to accompany it with maybe what you might do there, but that's very kind of like high level concept what you do there.
I like the idea, we talked about kind of describing a paragraph, what it's like walking in there for the first time, what you see. That might be a nice way of doing it without getting into rewards, which inevitably
we're
changes
definitely
the
not,
conversation.
at that stage, we're definitely not looking at rewards or anything like that. And then from there, we do like, that might be like, that'll be a couple of weeks over the Christmas period. We come back in January and we take that and we poll it. Yeah. We have our winner, and then we players start deciding what content they want to go into that area. And that's how we would do it. And that will probably cover around about 3 months to decide that. So that means for just the regular other RuneLab stuff, like I'm currently going through, we had a discussion, we had a meeting where we went through the front page of all the RuneLabs ideas. I'm currently writing those up. Once I've done that, I'll be marking them all.
Annotating the whole of that front page.
Yeah, going through it all.
On social media.
And then forums. I'll create a form thread which goes through all of them as well, because as soon as we wipe them, they'll easily get lost, sort of thing. And then once that kind of 3 months are over, decide what the new months, we'll open it back up again to just anything goes types of thing. See what people come up with, sort of thing.
And with player power, I'm also pushing the teams to go for more polls.
More polls again.
We're liking polls. Polls are, for us, like the best way that players can get involved in our content. RuneLabs, obviously, we're using it for the player power area, and we think it's perfect for that. But it didn't quite see the engagement that we wanted, like everybody getting involved with it. So polls, I think you start seeing that. Lots of people get involved.
We got into, we mentioned the watch there, and like we got into a bit too much where we're rushing between projects, and as a result, there just wasn't any time to really use polls and take on stuff. With the new kind of like setup, our new approach for next year, like there definitely should be a bit more time to bring in polls early and stuff. Yeah,
absolutely. It has occurred to me that I haven't gone back to the poll, but talking about polls. So you have got back to us about who should be, who NXT should be available to, and Premier Club's up top, 39%.
Not permanently, just as a beta type test, right?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Only released to Premier Club.
You get it now. No, 39% for the beta to Premier Club, 37% to members, 18% to everyone, and 6% to a very select group of players.
So I'll be picking a very select group of players to put this out to.
Apparently it's 6%. So that's really good to know. We will take that back to our decision makers, I'm sure.
We'll sit down with
the job title. Sorry, this fire is making me feel really hot.
Yeah, it could be the lights.
And we've got story momentum, I've got written down. It's one of the things we haven't really capitalised on in the past.
Yeah, that was a big point. When we sat down and we were trying to discuss what would we do at RuneScape? What are the strengths that we don't really use? And the big thing is nobody updates like us. We bring out something new and interesting every single week, but we very rarely have a common thread going through them.
Yeah.
And we can do very strong, driven, episodic narrative throughout the year.
Yeah.
And then the idea you were talking about with Siska's Endgame just fit right in there. It was really nice.
Yeah, exactly. And bring that to a close. Yeah, absolutely. I think it also helps to kind of give a real theme to the year. I'd love the idea of people looking back at 2016 and going, that was the year of Sliskay's Endgame. You know, it brings that colour to everything. And you see building up, you get more and more excited about what is coming effectively at the very end of the year.
Yeah. We have like multiple cliffhangers throughout the year.
That's it. So many cliffhangers you couldn't believe. Reward space and endgame I've got written down here. Now this almost kind of, invention's a big part of this.
Yeah.
One of the things, you may have noticed it, I don't know, maybe you have, that it's harder and harder for us to create rewards that are genuinely like desirable to you guys, particularly for things like quests.
Yes, definitely.
That space is shrinking. There's a lot of combat gear that has already plugged in a lot of the gaps in the tiers. A lot of the stuff we would normally give as rewards, generally, Ninja, we've given to everybody because they're just better as a quality of life fit.
Well, it almost feels like in order to create rewards, you have to make like something actually the usability pretty poor, just so you can create a reward to improve it. Then
which is probably not the best way of going.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And even things like small things like transportation, like previously, if you look at Quest rewards, like it'll be teleports and necklaces to various places, but people can get around all right. You've got lodestones, various jewelry. So that is shrinking and shrinking, and we're looking for better ways of giving you rewards. They might be creating closed systems like Aquarium is, the ability to add something to this closed system. But invention gives us it. That's why we're really going for invention.
Yeah, the the way that the team have built it and the kind of the space it starts giving us, even it can give nice flavored improvements to content that we're going to be releasing.
Yeah.
Some of the ideas of the materials that we're going to be releasing through like rewards requests or new drops from mobs help you get new items. How far have we gone in invention? I'm trying to think how much have we spoken about in terms of perks and devices.
Lots, everything about perks and
Oh,
devices.
yeah,
not individual perks. I think that's basically the only thing that hasn't been revealed. Is we'll be showing you all of the kind of individual perks and devices over the course.
But the way those are generated, you can start picking them up from new mobs that we create. Our rewards for doing a certain quest can give you certain items. And this is a new space for us to start going into.
Yeah. I mean, it won't be the only reward space, obviously. If you're not at level 80 in these skills, don't worry. There will still be other rewards and that sort of thing. But we've been talking about creating these spaces that people will find attractive, you know. I'd love to have pet hats, you know. That's just me. But
that's not just you. There's an army of people looking for those pet hats.
Yeah, indeed.
I have a screenshot.
Clutter.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of, dead content in there.
Well, it's a 15-year-old game. I mean, it's a good time to start looking at that stuff is dead content.
Yeah, and there's things like rat pits is the example. I've mentioned it a long time ago.
Yep.
But it's a case of like the work to rework that just doesn't seem worthwhile at all.
But
like it's you're basically scrapping it and starting again.
Yeah.
And then do we really need that? Not really. Like so, it's the case of just we take that out of the game. And as a result of that, we can then improve some of the code, like particularly around cats. Like you have no idea, like the pet system.
It is hilarious.
Like because the cats were made a different way to all the rest of the pets, and they're just a complete nightmare.
Yeah.
And we can start and that's because of like rat pits and stuff. And we can remove that, and we can start improving the code. I mean, it's something like Ninja do anyway.
Yeah.
Like with all the Ninja fixes, like whilst people don't necessarily see it all. When we come to like Ninja fix stuff, we also then improve the code.
That makes a lot of sense.
Around it, and so it'd be nice. And so there'll probably be some more stuff. I keep on talking about like we do like a spring clean or something like that, where we actually just go through and just cut out a load of stuff that's just dead content. And if we just removed it, it would actually make things. It wouldn't noticeably be better to the player straight away, but for developers, it means they can develop in that space. Like they can start developing. When they look at pets and stuff like that, it's not so much a nightmare when it comes to cats.
And it helps with new players as well. I mean, we can often forget, like mining and smithing, people voted up, I think, because it improves the health of the game. You know, it makes more sense. And, new players coming to it without this clutter, without the stuff they don't need to interact with, it's really going to help.
Definitely. I mean, like I remember when I first started playing, and it was like, why can I not like make this stuff at the same level of like as I need to like wield it and wear it and stuff? Just didn't make sense, and like
it's a lot of that.
And so like going back to that and stuff is something that
I mean,
definitely needed.
It's clear and obvious that we will talk to everybody, talk to the players about like what we want to remove or what they think is appropriate to remove. It won't just be limited to the stuff we've said. You know, it might be we look to consolidate rather than remove.
Yeah.
I can imagine a mini game tower where we put blast furnace and
all
of
like
these
that.
things.
There could be some stuff
just
like
to give you. I'm promising stuff here. Here we go.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We can do that.
But that idea of basically just streamlining the game experience, basically in the game world.
There was like
Lots
questions on that, wasn't there? And it was very much we do have the analytics team, so we can see how many people actually play certain pieces of content. That would be used a lot, but maybe it is a case that we do remove stuff, people ask for it back and stuff like that, and we can keep that in mind for future content and bringing that similar gameplay back in.
I really like that idea of either like giving a period of like, right, in 3 weeks' time it's going, guys, everybody rush to it and we get everybody playing, or we get the whole kind of game world involved in like breaking things down. Like this is the stuff we don't want. Let's start hitting it with pickaxes and hammers.
That'd be nice, but that's more work.
Oh, damn.
Could just remove it.
Could just remove it. There's Ninja plan for 2016. So what does 2016 mean for you guys?
I want to get away from, so this kind of towards the end of the year, the Ninja team has been focusing too much on projects.
Yeah.
And as a result, we haven't been doing enough Ninja fixes. Although, as I mentioned, like, people keep on saying, there's not many Ninja fixes coming true. And it's true, but as I mentioned, like, we do kind of focus a bit more on the back code as well and improving that. But I do want to get away from doing so many projects and get people back on doing Ninja fixes. We also had, when I came into the team, we had like big plans for projects where we'll improve this and we'll improve that, but we never kind of got around to it. So that's things to do with like chat and clans.
Yeah, of course.
And what I want to do now is break that into lots of like smaller ninja fixes, and as a result, we won't have like big impacts. Hey, we've done all this stuff for for chat and stuff like that, and we've done all this for clans, but you'll see a trickle through of stuff that actually will improve the game more.
So instead of being got these daunting balls of like lots of things that you have to do for clans' sake, just break it up. What's the best and most impactful?
And it might be some of those projects. In the way it breaks down, it might be easier to just say to the team, "Hey, this week we're all going to focus on this one thing," and everyone does ninja fixes related on that, and they all do get put out at the similar time, or it's just something that gets chipped away over time, and we do a few, we see how that improves things, see how that goes down, and then like we can learn from that, and we can maybe do a few more. Maybe we step back and go, actually, these aren't needed. No one cares too much about them. Let's focus on something else.
Sure. And there's after NXT. So we haven't launched NXT, but we want to know what's after.
That's amazing. The team building it keeps saying about all the things that they want to do after they release NXT.
It's great. I think that's what happens when you're on a project for so long. You can't help but talk about like that lovely horizon where you might actually see something else.
It's a big technical project, right? That basically allows us to do more stuff in the future.
There was an idea. So they're going to kill me. We were thinking of a way that we could cover the entire world with snow. Because of the way we've built it, that's not impossible.
I like the way that's post NXT. What we've got.
We're just going to cause snow, but that's a weather effect.
Yeah.
But ideas like that, we can push in that way. There are other far more technical options in the way we do lighting and the way we do texturing.
All these projects,
different material systems, different recoloring systems. There's big, long lists of different things that we can change. Everybody's screaming out for normal maps. That would be great.
Yeah.
But these are all coming after NXT, and what we'll have to do is see how everybody reacts to it, and then make sure we pick the best possible options for ourselves. Covering Gillinor in snow is not important. There are far more important things that we can do.
Weather and possible day-night cycles and things like this.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Don't
They're going to kill me. No, drop that. That's fine.
Weather,
Weather.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with weather, not day and night cycles.
We're more on board with weather, are we?
Yeah, it's just
you told me there's one day.
The day-night cycle is just it just wouldn't make sense when it's all the places where it's currently day. Then we would have it just wouldn't make sense for all these people to be out and about at night and stuff, and it doesn't. It doesn't thematically.
I know there are certain players who would say, it doesn't matter, just keep them outside.
But they can use that bug they can use that POH bug to make it night. If they really want that, they can use that.
Yeah.
Like, we deliberately didn't fix that, so people who really want that can do that.
It's Fido has asked, will we have WASD movement with NXT?
No.
Is that ever a possibility?
I hate just saying no. Okay, so we did this as a thing. Like, we tried to test it out a bit and see if it worked. Getting the player to move with those controls wasn't impossible, and we're kind of okay. But the problem was the world isn't designed for it.
Yeah.
So it's designed for a thing that can find a path from where you are to where you're going to go. And in some cases, that can be through, you'll notice in some places the character will go like zig, 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 because there's only a one character path through it. But you can't see that blocking really, because it's all grid-based.
Oh, so it just felt so frustrating.
Yeah, so you walk and suddenly you're stopped, and you want to walk, and you stopped, and you walk a little bit further, and you stop. And you're kind of finding the invisible walls.
So it's fair to say it's a lot more work to do that sort of thing.
It would be a world redesign rather than a technical challenge.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing. Also, walking on a grid feels a bit clunky. So we'd have to do a bunch of other work there.
Yeah.
So in essence, I mean, that's why, simple answer, no, NXT won't do this for us. But while it's not impossible, it's a huge effort for us to try and get it.
Okay.
And for limited benefit, having played it using WASD.
Phoenix has asked, what about clans in 2016? Because you touched on it.
Yeah. So I think I've seen suggestions in the chat already. Like, there's lots of places where we can have skilling plots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think there's one on the front page of RuneLabs which is asking for like clan player owned ports.
Yeah.
Like, but actually on the Citadel, not a clan version of the current ports. Those are huge projects. And I think we need to focus more on making what's currently there work better.
That's it. Just build up slowly, brick by brick.
Like, I was in QA when we did the clan avatars update, and like we had to test something like 800 map squares or something like that because of all the various combinations of the Citadel. It was ridiculous, and like
we
there
don't have
was,
to tell the players about spaghetti
and there was
code, they know
certain,
our-
there was
yeah.
certain map squares that were broken. Like one map square would be broken a certain way that none of the others were,
Yeah.
and it's very ridiculous, to be honest, and it's not something we would ever do again. But we need to. So those things, like they're just not.
I think we
very unlikely to happen.
We've got a renewed impetus to do something with clans. There's a couple of devs who step forward that they really want to help out with clans, because often we've had a little kind of a loss of knowledge on clans.
We've seen some minor, they're very minor, but we've seen minor changes going into clans. Mod Hunter did that thing the other day. I don't know if that's going to go live.
We've got a few ninja fixes in there for like orts, and Monmaz did one for about being able to see who's got clan avatars or being able to recall them, which will be out in the new year because it's something our QA guys have highlighted. This requires a lot of testing time. They've got a bit of time over the Christmas period, which they'll be using to test that.
All right.
So that's fairly soon stuff. So from the Ninja team anyway, you'll hopefully see more improvements to existing stuff. Obviously, the Ninja team aren't the team that would do big content, but knowing how Citadels work and stuff, I can't see us doing
I know for a
big
fact
Citadel updates.
that when we looked at the Rune Labs suggestions, the front page, there were clan suggestions on there. They're up, reasonably high, not right up to the top. They're on the front page, and we made a little note to put them in for the survey for next year. The kind of substantial clan content for next year in that survey.
Yeah,
and that will give us a better idea of just how it weighs up against other stuff.
Yeah, similar to the way we did for 2016, where we asked the players about some ideas we had internally, some ideas the players had, and just try and get their feeling of what they wanted. Yeah, we do the same thing again for 2017.
You've got it, and then there's some really nice ideas there. The kind of the livestock, the player-owned greenhouse, which we are already earmarking for that survey. So don't worry, your ideas will be there.
Remove
Remington. Oh, that is amazing. Well, that's clutter.
Give us some more information on that.
Tell me what Remington does.
And stuff.
Song from the Depths.
There's a bunch of quests there.
There's 2 quests and
there's a couple of quests there.
Yeah, but it's always like going through Remington. You never stop. It's like you kind of turn up, nick some. I can't remember. There's some scientists there, aren't there? And anyway, I can understand where you're coming from with Remington. I think there might be some uproar. So I've got some general questions, just about stuff. What large update are you the most excited for next year, and why?
Ooh.
Like, be honest.
Solo boss. Mainly because I think I've bloated the scope so far that the team are going to actually...
Yeah, you don't seem to grasp the fact that solo boss means one player fights the boss. The boss isn't solo.
Well, no, that was the first
The boss
problem,
could be multiple things, but it's for one person.
Yeah, so that was the first thing, having the solo boss. But some of the other features that we were talking about that are completely impossible, if we could do them, I'd be really happy. Oh
yeah, because we did mention some stuff at RuneFest.
Yeah, so
we tried to be we've got some innovative stuff that might just not work out.
Probably won't work out.
Which is why we didn't announce them at RuneFest, because that would be like stupid.
We're going to keep holding that back.
Yeah, and it's nice to have some surprises for next year. Just wheel out, like we did with Darkscape, like we kind of did with Iron Man, just bringing out something that's relatively kind of game changing, but not any noise about it at all.
As a skiller, I would say I'm kind of excited to see what kind of endgame mining and smithing will be.
Yeah.
With a rebalance.
It's nice to see something it's just been that way for so long. To see that shift and how we adjust the tiers. And
yeah, it's going to be interesting what new stuff gets put in, because what I imagine is everything will move down, so Rune will be at level 50.
Yeah.
So what does the level they were. So what happens to all the rest of those levels?
Basically, it's just Timbo's nightmare. But my one is probably the player power area. I love the idea of the players owning a location in the game world.
It could look something like this.
Could be. You never know.
Some underwater area.
My favourite part is going to be that last part of Rune Labs where it's just a free-for-all when anybody can suggest anything and we just grab what we really like. Yeah. And I'm hoping there's going to be character ideas, there'll be reward ideas, and we just kind of nab.
Someone just puts in a pun for an examine on a rock.
Exactly. So we put in a pun for an examine on a rock. I'm very excited about the start of the year for that. Because of course that's something that hits in the first 6 months, which is all of the polling and the Rune Labs for that. Can we finally get multiple characters under one account?
Also on the Rune Labs page. But I mean, that's a massive. It's definitely not something a content team can do. It's a big technical
architectural shift.
Yeah.
We did discuss a way. Engine team's going to kill me. So we discussed a way that we could maybe do things where we have a way where you can access all of, like, I can get at my old school character, I can get at my Darkscape character, my Deadman character, my RuneScape, log into Chronicle from one place, in theory. This is a lot of work for us, but I think that'd be interesting. It'd be a nice way that I can keep a touch on all those. It's not necessarily multiple characters on one count, but it is a way to keep in touch with all of the Jagex products that are there.
Yeah.
Like I said, the engine team will kill me because we've no plans on when or how to do this. So
but it's just a personal desire.
Yeah.
It's you standing up and saying, yes,
I think this would
want
be,
this.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool. It'd definitely be really cool to just go into like a lobby system or something like that.
Yeah.
What
game do you want
character
to
out.
play today?
Yeah.
Do you have any plans to move areas or quests from pay-to-play to free-to-play?
So we got some, not quests really. I mean, we've done some investigations into stuff that we might move across.
Yeah.
Quest isn't something that we really felt was needed. Some bosses did, so I think I've mentioned it plenty of time that Giant Mole and KBD are stuff that we'll look to make free to play at some point.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And you talked about items as well, didn't you, potentially?
Yeah, with those, like currently they drop some member items, so we need to look into how that works.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly how we'll make that work at this time. But
it's not a case we've forgotten. There will be...
No.
We are looking critically.
Huge backlog of stuff.
Massive ninja backlog.
But no, quest wasn't something that came up as... It might be something that we need to do to look at like the improvement of like some of the lower level quests when people come in and it's kind of puts you into the very old quest.
It'll be part
very
of
early on into the game.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say for anyone who immediately worries about quest reworks or something, I wouldn't really consider quest reworks, just maybe touching up the areas and stuff.
Sweet. This is one that I'd like, so if you can make this happen, that'd be great. Will we see RuneScape on consoles in 2016? Can you make that happen?
Why do you ask me questions that make me go no?
Do you not like saying no?
I don't like saying no.
I want to move my character with Connect. I want to...
Does that... there's been a few questions in the chat for virtual reality stuff.
Funny story. One of the guys in the tech team actually wrote Oculus support in.
Oh, really? How does that even work?
He did it as a personal project.
Would that be first person?
No. What we did was when I saw it, it was hooked up to cutscene system. So any of the cutscenes, the camera would be mounted as if it was on your head. So you'd be moved around the world, but you could look around. Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. It's not impossible.
Yeah,
highly unlikely.
But also amazing if it happens. What else have we got? What kind of streams can we expect during the Christmas holidays? This is kind of pertinent. I really want to ask this one because.
Do we know?
Do we know?
I thought we were having a meeting. Like,
weren't we asking John about?
What streams we're having
John, I believe, is in a stream after this, where I'm sure he'll tell us all.
Some sort of an advent calendar stream.
Yes, there's an advent calendar stream directly after this. We'll be opening stuff up and giving prizes and stuff. There's prizes.
Yeah.
They've got a goodie bag, so do stick around because you could win.
Is one of the prizes to fix the graphical glitch on Ogre Bankers?
It is, yeah, we will do that.
So we've got some prizes to give away, I believe, on the mic now.
A copy area at one stage.
Yeah.
So we'll be having a few streams as well over the course of the Christmas period. So Mod Lee's going to be streaming a few times.
Yeah, Mod Lee's streaming over the Christmas period.
Yeah.
And we're definitely, definitely. It's almost certain that we're doing next week.
Yeah, we're going to do probably another special stream next week, maybe Christmas rated again, or maybe...
Where could players go to get a list?
So information you can find either on the Twitch page, so like just Twitch page channel, or you can also just follow us on Twitter and like ask us and stuff.
Follow RuneScape on Twitter.
Absolutely, and I think that the anniversary's coming up. We'll probably have something keyed into that.
Yep.
Yeah, but don't worry, you will more than likely get one next week because I'm sure you can't miss this. Maybe, who knows? When will the Well of Goodwill open again?
2016.
2016. So we can say for sure that it's will come with Game Blast.
Yeah, doing that
But
again.
other than that, 2016.
Yeah, Mod Luna's working on
Mod
some
Luna's.
plans.
Yes, exactly. This is what she's doing without Rune Labs. We have her working on wells. What is that one issue you're so passionate about you'll do everything in your power to make it happen in 2016, even if there's no room for it on the official agenda? Whew. Whew. It's a good question.
I
Go
want the Zamorak symbol
on.
as a mustache.
Why did I know you?
Yeah,
all right.
I know I said that upstairs. You see, there's no way you're going to... Yeah, I actually...
The Zamorak.
Perfect.
In fact, you can see it just behind us. So that has a moustache.
No, that is Zamorak. I need his symbol.
The symbol.
The symbol
Oh, the
itself.
symbol. Oh, so it's not his kind of
No, not Zamorak mustache. Like his symbol as a mustache.
moustache. I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I think I could probably do that.
Yeah, let's us do that and see what happens.
His Pringles moustache. Okay, what would you go for?
I don't know.
Go on, you can say it.
Well, you've already rejected my bee quest too many times. So
So you're a fan of bumblebees, aren't you? Is it particularly, or is it honeybees?
I don't feel that strongly about bees.
I feel this is getting into in-joke territory.
Yeah. Last time I mentioned a creature, it was camels, and that's been ruined for me.
Yes.
Serious koi.
Yeah, you stole them from us.
Calling you out.
And I've been banging the drum about serializing quest content for so long. So I've had the chance to do it, which is really nice. Yeah, actually having like kind of cliffhangers and sequence storytelling and things like that.
So you're telling us the thing that you would like to get on the agenda, you got on the agenda and we formed the entire agenda.
Oh, that's basically what the question asked, I feel. So I don't feel that I've ruined that in any way. Okay, we can't go without a Kelpie Cam moment.
Oh, great.
There it is. They're already prepped. That is amazing. So quick
So I get to wear
fire.
this.
Why has this gone back to a wider camera? There we go.
Which,
Okay, this is going to be beautiful and wonderful. So Christmas Kelpie Cam, don't do that face ever again. Quick chat option for boss training points.
yeah.
Quick chat option for Dominion Tower Rumble mode kills.
Yes.
Can we get another way to get thinker gloves and boots?
No.
Faster landing when using quick load stones.
Yes.
More uses for Crystal Blossom.
No.
Can you allow us to store the following in our costume room: attuned crystal armor and hardened barbarian assault armor?
No.
Can you make the Demonheim portal in Prifdinus a quick teleport?
No.
Can you move the Mystic Robe seller from the Wizard's Guild to the Wizard's Tower?
Yes.
Ooh. Can Corp, KBD and KQ be given kill timers when in a solo instance like other bosses?
Yes.
Can we get a God Wars Dungeon type kill counter added to the Chaos Battlefield?
No. I'm going to be a little bit more on that one because still because we kind of messed up that answer like last week. We still don't quite understand why people want a kill counter in there. So you go in there, I know there's 3 different types of creatures you can kill, and they drop the dragon pickaxe, I believe.
And the hand cannons.
But I don't think there's any sort of
mechanic in there
for why you need to monitor how many you've killed.
Yeah, so get on the forums. Tell us
LT
why
Shadow,
yeah.
please let me know.
And the last one, can you wish me a happy birthday live on air, says Tufty Power.
No.
Happy birthday, Tufty Power.
No joking.
Happy birthday, Tufty Power.
Happy birthday.
Bar humbug. All right, so there we go. We've reached the end of the stream. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you're a little bit more excited about 2016. Obviously, there's an Advent calendar stream following us. So is it Mod John and Mod JD?
Stick around.
Yeah, stick around. We're going to go straight into that. And there are bonds, a Cooler Master headset, and mouse to be won. Who knew? There we go. So from me, Mod Osborne.
Mods Conor.
Mods Kelpie.
Goodbye and Merry Christmas.
Bye.